أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك رب زدني علما وفهما وحكما وبركاتا ونورا وحكمة اللهم علمنا من ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وبرحمتك وشن أمام الذين أنعمت عليهم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. Welcome again, brothers. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Today, inshallah, we're going to proceed from where we left off yesterday. We stopped at verse 31 yesterday. No, 30. Verse 29 actually, and we're going to pick it up from 20 today, and we are hoping to get to 32 so that we can explain the message that Allah is trying to get across to us here through Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The next verse is speaking, it starts speaking about the signs of Allah, how Allah describes his magnificence, and to give example to those who are questioning if the dead is going to be revived, there's going to be a day of judgment. As you go into another subtopic of this great chapter of Islam. Just a quick recap. Yesterday, we reminded us of two things. Number one, what becomes of the one who defended the message of Allah and the messengers, which is our people in Nigeria. We also reminded us of what become the people who disbelieve, who were the leaders, and how Allah dealt with them, and how Allah left the story in the storyline, because we can't necessarily call it an history because Allah vanished them. He doesn't want us to, they don't have a trace mark in that city. But Allah left this story, for us, as as we are reading today in the Quran, that Allah told Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to remind the people. That's why Allah said, "Wadrib lahum masalan." Remind them, of the sample that we have, executed, we have displayed to the people of Ethiopia, so that we can see that Allah, He can demolish a city without any strength. And that's why Allah said this is too easy for us to even send angels down to punish people who have disbelieved. Then Allah also showed us how He chooses whoever He wants, however He wants, by choosing Habib Najjar. Allah doesn't look at how he looked like, what he looked like, or what he has. Allah chooses, however He wants. Now, before we go into there, I'd like for us to understand and ask ourselves, why is Allah telling Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to inform him of this story of the experience of the people of Ethiopia, what transgressed? Allah is saying so that we can know that if people would disbelieve, and that's why even when Rasulullah alaihi wasallam, in the people of Quraysh, they were saying that if Allah was going to send a messenger, He should have chosen from us. We were more powerful, we were more connected, we were strong, but Allah showed him that, He chooses however He wants. So this is for us to know that Allah could choose however He wants. And even if Allah chooses us, we want to know that it is not by our might, it is by the mercy of Allah. And that's why people in Nigeria teach us a lesson. It taught us a lesson that whenever you find yourself in situations that you know that is more than what you can afford, it is more than your knowledge and capability, say it. That's why even Allah to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that Fasabbih bihamdi rabbik, glorify your Lord, to thank Him. And people in Nigeria knows that Allah has forgiven him. That's why He has honored him. Allah honored him with the message of Islam. Allah honored him with the guidance, and Allah honored him with the light of the guidance. So you and I should also learn to say that Bima Ghafara li Rabbi wa ja'alani min al-mukramin, because Allah said, "Wa laqad karamna bani Adam." At first, Allah said, "I have blessed and I honored the people of Adam." Now Allah said, "I chose from the people of Adam the followers of Muhammad." And Allah said, "I choose them to be, the ones that I love most among the human creation." So you and I need to know that this is honorable. This is an honorable status that you and I have, which is the message of Islam. So we want to hold on to that and know that it is only by Allah's grace that He has forgiven us, even while we are walking in this pathway. We wrong our own selves. Allah promises that once we run back, His door is open, then He's also going to forgive and honors us more. So this is why the message was sent down, so we can trace the record of what becomes someone that how little action could get you a big reward from Allah. Now we proceed when Allah is saying, Allah said, yeah, and we have established how Allah dealt with these people, and their trace record and all of those. Then Allah said, Ya hasratan ala ibad. Allah is just like saying how unfortunate it is to seven. It is what a loss. How it is a regret. Ya hasratan ala ibad. Ma yadihim min rasulin. There's never been, there's never come to them a messengers from us. Illa kanu bihi yastahzi'un. Allahu Akbar. Not that they disobey them, they torment them, they ridicule them, they call them liars. Allah said, why? How stupid is human being that when the messengers come to them, when they receive a message, they only mock them. They call them liars. They call them Majnun. They call Prophet Musa Majnun. They call Muhammad Majnun. And even today, that the scholars reminded us that Allah innal awliya, the people, the scholars are the ones, warasatul anbiya, لأن العلماء warasatul anbiya. The scholars are the one who have chosen, who have inherit, the position of prophethood, because Muhammad is Hatam and Nabi. There is no prophet after Muhammad. But the scholars said the position of scholars, the people of knowledge today, is like they are sitting in the position of prophethood. So much so that today, when those people speak to us, when they speak of guidance to people, they say, this is the message of Islam. People joke them, they mock them. They say, you are just speaking your own word. Allah said, this same thing, it is a loss on the people who have chosen to act like that. And we're going to see this explicitness. If you go to Surah Al-Mu'minun, you're going to understand the explicitness of this, phrase from Allah. In the Surah Al-Mu'minun, Allah, when the disbeliever on the day of judgment, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah said on that day, people are thinking that they're gonna, they will. Allah said, do you think I'm gonna create you in this world, and you're not gonna return back to us? Now on that day, this set of people who Allah is saying that it's unfortunate and woe be unto them, they're gonna say that Allah, return us. If only you can return us at this moment, then we will believe now. Allahu Akbar. Because Allah said the mubin is clear. It's now clear. They cannot deny the truth. They see that yes, this is hellfire, this is paradise. They see the people of Jannah walking in the Sarat. They know that it's true now. Now they say, oh Allah, la la to their own. If only, just 1 minute. La ilaha illallah. Then Allah will say, you have 1,000 minutes in the world. 1,000,000 minutes you have it, you did not utilize it. How assured would I even be that if I give you 1 second, this person, you are a liar. you still will not believe. You are just deceitful. You are a liar. Allah said, why should I give you a minute after I have granted you years in the surface of the heart? You saw the guidance. You listened to it. They told you about it, but you chose to deny and not listen. Then he said that only my Lord, now Allah is calling Allah Rob now. Now he said, if only you return me for 1 minute, maybe I will do good. Now I will believe so that he can reward him. Then Allah said, Fala tukallimuni, la ilaha illallah. This is a strong word. Then Allah said, this statement that he has made, he only made it by his own self. We don't want to listen to him today. Allah said, Fala tukallimuni, don't talk to me today. If the creator of the universe, the one who is Malikul Mulk, Malikul Yawmuddin, the only one who can help on that day, even Muhammad would help on that day by the permission of Allah. If Allah is now telling people not to talk to him, who is the Nasir? Who is the Nasir there? Who is going to help them on that day? That is a total loss. That is because you can't even plead anymore. You can't plead anymore. Allah said, then Allah proceeded. Surah Al-Mu'minun. Allah said, have they not come to you, my messengers, to wish you mock them? You chose to mock them, so much so that the mockery took you away from receiving the message that they brought to you. Then Allah proceeded, Allah Akbar. Then Allah said, today, Allah said, today, I am going to reward them of the patience to which they carry. The moment to which you were mocking them, you chose to lie. You were laughing. You turned them into laughing stock. You say, the people that are making sajda, they praying, going to the masjid. They don't know what they are doing. They are fools. They don't know the sweetness of this worldly life. You chose to mock them. Then Allah said, you have taken your portion in the surface of the earth. Your own Jannah is in the world. You have enjoyed it. That is it. Case closed. Today, for you is dumb. You're gonna be punished today. Then Allah said, today, for my people. That's why Allah said, we're gonna welcome our people with salam. Radiyallahu anhu wa radu anhu. Allah said, today, their own paradise is with us today. In nature, today, you have mocked them yesterday. Today, they're gonna mock you. Allahu Akbar. So we want to understand, in fact, in that little point, that while we are, in this journey, because this is a struggle and a mission, in fact, because Allah said, I've chosen you to be my Khalifa, to be my Caliphate in this world. We're going to face tribulations and physical challenges sometimes when people say, you are doing too much. Why are you worrying yourself? Why are you going to the masjid? Why are you, praying? Why are you doing this? Because you know that what you are doing, you're saving something in an account with Allah. People are going to challenge this. Even sometimes we talk to people about Islam, they say, brother, you're stressing yourself. Let us enjoy this world first. Let us enjoy. But they might even insult you. But you know that Allah is promising you with this word that in nature, I said, we're going to reward you on a day because we see, we understand, we know what is going on. So Allah said, don't be carried away. We have a promise for you. Let them mock you as much as they can in this world. For you, you have the last ending. And they say, whoever laugh last, laugh best. Then Allah said, how unfortunate it is for this set of people that when they receive our message, they ridicule them, they call them liars. So this is to say that we're going to keep saying this today, but because Allah has promised them to be among those that is going to punish, He wouldn't let them take the message. In fact, He wouldn't guide their heart because for them on that day is a total loss. Even if they send thousands of angels, they still wouldn't believe. Now the next verse said, Alam yarau kam alakna qablahum min al-Qurin. Have they not seen Allah Akbar Kabira? How many generations to include the generation of these people of Antioquia? Because Allah said the Jamu, He used the plural, the Qurun, and that's why the first verse when Allah said to Muhammad that what people almost ashab al-Qarya, the people of Antioquia. Now Allah is saying here that min al-Quruni, among generations and generations, annahum ilayhim la yajihun, that we destroy this generation before them, and that we even destroy them so much so that they will not return back to the surface of the earth. There will be no track record for them. They wouldn't exist anymore. Just like the people of Ethiopia, Ashab al-Fil, stuff like that. And Allah said, how are people so blind to this? That's why Allah said in various verses that what people are is helpful heart. Allah said, go to this word. Have you not walk around this world? And we listen to the story of Fir'aun. Allah left Fir'aun as a sign. Allah said in the Quran, I'm going to leave you as a sign for the world to see. Today, it's still there. And even in the Quran, Allah said, Allahu Akbar. When Allah is telling Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about how Fir'aun was an evil man in the surface of the heart, he was telling the story of him and Musa. Allah said, this Fir'aun is a terrorist. Allahu Akbar. I said, this Fir'aun, he was a evil man. Allahu Akbar. Allah was saying so much so how He threatened Prophet Musa. And Allah said, we're going to leave him as a sign. Allah left people of good signs and record. Prophet Yusuf and Yaqub. The story of Yusuf was a good sign. Allah said, I left those as a good signs to people who will ask questions, who ask how Allah was. Allah said, I left those as good signs. I left those as a sign of reward of patience, because Allah rewarded patience of the Father and the Son. Allah said, I left the signs of people who are of evil acts and how I punish them for people to also see that this is how I work. I do not do injustice to my people, neither do I do it to myself. Allah left this for us to see this world before we die, to see, and let that be a pointer of how we act and receive Allah's message. Then Allah is telling Prophet Muhammad that this, Musa, he dealt with a very wicked man in the surface of the earth. That's why Prophet Muhammad was meant to know that if the Quran was divided into two, it's like Allah gave half of it to Prophet Musa and Fir'aun. Allah is saying, He's told various verses, qasas, Surah Al-Anbiya, various verses, various chapters. Allah will bring, the story of Musa. just to say how evil and erroneous, in fact, Pharaoh was to Musa, and the message. Then Allah is saying here that this is to be a reminder for them to know that there have been generations in small group and large group that they come before them, that they disbelieve and we destroy them. They only have an existence in this world a very short spare of time, but they do not have any track record back again. Like I said, we return them to be nothing on this earth. That's why even we don't know how the generations and league of people that have lived in this world. We don't know. The Quran only tells us of, we took the history and stories that Quran told us of the past. And even Allah is reminding Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that for many home now, there are some of them that we do not even tell you about. So we don't even know generations that Allah have destroyed. Even Prophet knows his people. And Allah said we destroyed them so much so we opened a new page from that moment in time. A new page was opened. The people of Noah. It's also part of the Qur'an of group of people that disbelieve. See how tormenting it was for Prophet Noah. He said, Allah, I call them daytime, with loud voice, low voice. Allah said, and Prophet Noah, for years, decades, he made this call. They disobeyed, and eventually he made the dua after he was being pushed to the wall. Then Allah, these people are stubborn. Then Allah showed him how it worked. And Allah said, your people, we're going to destroy them. And because they have chosen to push you to the wall, the call Prophet Noah. And he was also reminding them that they should just ask for forgiveness. See the importance of forgiveness there. That means before you receive Allah's light of guidance, or before we continue to walk in the light of Allah, He must have chosen to forgive us first. That's why He said, "Istakfiru rabbakum innahu kana yursilu sama alaykum midirara." وَيُمْدِدْكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ جَنَّاتٍ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ أَنْهَارًا. Then it's going to give you light upon light. Light upon. That means when Allah forgives us, it's going to descend light, to our hearts. We pray that Allah forgive our sins and let His light sit in our heart. So this is to reestablish the same scenario happened to the Prophet of Allah. The same scenario is going to happen to you and I because we are ambassadors of Islam. While we speak of one or two words of Islam to people, people don't feel bad when people say, you are doing too much, or they disbelieve, or they say, you don't know what you are doing. You know what you are doing because Allah has promised you that we would not accept any religion except Islam. Falan yukbal, Allah said, whoever brought forth any other message than Islam, we will not accept it. And also, that Allah has established very poignantly. He said, it's a lost that people who receive the message and they see the signs and still disbelieve, they have no excuse. They have no excuse. Allah said it's going to be a loss for them. And on that day, they're going to be mocking stock when my punishment has descended upon them. And even when you go back to the verse, Allah said to the people who they receive, who are in position of authority, and they think because of the position is going to last forever, they chose not to listen to what is true. On that day, Allah said, فَخِذُوهُمْ إِنَّهُمْ مَسْئُولُونَ. Allah said, hold them tight on this day. Put the chain on their head to their toe. Hold them, put them aside first. They need to be, what do they call this room in the courtyard? You don't imprison people first, just like you put them in a safe place first you put them there before Allah said put them in the reserve section. We're going to come back to them because these are people who have went to the surface of the earth and destroyed. They destroyed people. They were unjust to people. Allah said chain them down. These are people that are powerful in this world, kings, rulers, legislators, whatever, what have you. Allah said hold them tight, chain them down. They have answers for us. We have questions for them today. They need to give us answers. Who are you to give answers when Allah is questioning? And even on that day, you cannot speak because your hand, your mouth, your part of it will speak against you. And when you react, they're going to ask the question that, part of our body, why are you speaking against us? And they're going to say today, you don't have the control over us. You do not create this. You do not create it. The one who created is the one commanding it to speak. Allahu Akbar kabira. And even so much so, when you go to Surah Al-Kahf, they're going to say that which kind of book is this? Which kind of judgment or day or scenario is this? Nothing is hidden. Why? Because in Allah basirun basirun. Allah in Allah basirun salimun basir. Allah hears and he sees. Whatever you think you have hidden, Allah sees it. So this is a call forward. Then the tafsir here, he says, he said, to each of them, your Lord will repay their work in full. That's like an ayah that will establish that whoever push forward, then Allah, reward. And this same thing falls back to the verse that says, if you do any small thing that is good, on that day you're gonna see it because Allah you didn't want to muhsinin. So all of these scenarios that Allah, we can see the tone there. People who are of communication studies, they know how ethos work here and the tone to which Allah is speaking. It falls back to two things that if you do what Allah never like people who are on justice. Various verses, Allah remind them, you and I again, and we're probably going to close with this. Very interesting. Allah said, eh, ولا تهنوا ولا تحزنوا وأنتم الأعلون إن كنتم مؤمنين. Allahu Akbar. Allah said to remind you and I that do not despair, don't shake your heart, don't feel discouraged, don't be demotivated when the people come to you and challenge you. In kuntum mu'min, if you are truly a believer, wa antumul a'laun, you will overcome, you will be the victorious ones. Allahu Akbar. This is an assurance. Allah is telling the people when they went to the battle of Hud, when they were, the iman was shaking. And this is also to tell us that sometimes our iman is shaking. But Allah said, wa antumul a'launa. Don't despair. Wala tahinu, wala tahzan. Don't feel bad for a second. Know that we that you are worshiping, we are the truth. You eventually, you will be victorious. You will be victorious. So much so that Allah is saying down the line, Allah said, Inna Allah la yuhibbu zalimin. Allah does not love people who are unjust. So if people have been unjust to you, just go to your small place and say, Allah, this person has wronged me. I left them to you. The Prophet Zakaria, Prophet Ayubi he said the same thing. He said, they have challenged me, they have wronged me, they have been unjust to me. Oh Allah, inni maglubun fantasir. Oh Allah, they have challenged me, they have been unjust to me. Do justify them, do fantasir. Help me now, be my helper. Allahu Akbar. To close up, there is a story of the Sahabas, that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he sent them, like an intelligence group, like a spy. He was in the lead of Kubayt. Kubayt was the leader of this, young Sahabas, and because of the belief that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had in them, he sent them after the battle. He said, go and, like a spy. Some of us are, veterans, you understand it. Say, go in the city and see if, the enemies are still around somewhere. And, they went. And long story short, they get to the city where the people of that city were those who fight with arrows. And they saw them from a long distance. And, long story short, they captured them to be prisoners of war. And wow, 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 because of the strong faith that these people had, and they said, who you have chosen us today, but we have come to you to deliver the message of Muhammad. And they said the iman that they used to speak there is like a karama, is like an honor. Then Kubayr said, oh Muhammad, he said, this space that we have, this current space and area, he said, pass the message down to Muhammad. Pass the message. Let Muhammad know that we have been captured. Then, and while they were hiding, they were hiding. They saw them coming. Then they said for them to come down. He said, "But Allah, I will not come down to be under the protection of disbelievers. I will not say because you have captured me as a prisoner of war to submit to what you are telling me to submit to." Then Hubayd is the name of this young man. Hubayd bin Hadi. He said, "You have captured us today for truly, but we will not give up." Then, long story short, they killed them first. Allahu Akbar. They killed one of the Sahabas that while they're saying to come down, he went down to from where they were hiding, and he said, because I believe, Allah, if I believe that your word will save us today. But they killed him unjustly to get to where I need to be. Eventually, when the whole Hubei was the last man to be killed, and he even left a record for you and I that Prophet Muhammad also emulates this effort and dua that he made while they were about to kill him, because he knew he was fighting for a just cause. This is the dua that he made. He said, you know what? I have agreed that you're going to execute me today. You're going to kill me. And this is for us to know how people of strong faith works. You want to know that even if people are saying they're going to kill you, hold on to it if it's true. The same thing surfaced for people in Nigeria. Then he said, give me a second. Let me make 2 rakah. Allahu Akbar. Let me make 2 rakah and pray to Allah. You're going to kill me. I've accepted. Then he went to the side and he was praying. And, he said before he made this dua, he commented. He said, if not that I'm thinking that you are thinking that I'm fearful of you or I'm afraid of the torment of death, I would have prolonged, this prayer more than I have. And this book is this story is in the Riyadh Salihin, isn't like want to reference it. Then he said, I would have prolonged it. And long story short, he said, is this all you have to say? You don't know what to say, Allah Akbar. Then he said to Allah, he said, Allahumma ahsihim adadan waqtuluhum badadan wala tabki minhum ahad. He said, oh Allah, you know their numbers. Allah Akbar. You know them. Hold them all together. Hold them very tight. Waqtuluhum badadan. Punish them, deal with them very strongly. وَلَا تَبْكِي مِنْهُمْ أَحَدٍ. Do not leave a trace of one single of them in this surface of the earth. Do not leave one single of them. Then they said that the prayer was answered, and that was even left for us as followers of Muhammad, that when things happen to us, we can make this dua and do the same to say that while we have been unjust, just make 2 rakah and leave the incident to Allah. Then Allah will be your supporter and defend you. Then Allah said in the Quran, فَإِنَّ جُنْدَنَا لَهُمُ الْغَالِبُونَ. Our soldiers, you and I are soldiers of Allah. Why? Because we're fighting for the cause of Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Then Allah said, فَإِنَّ جُنْدَنَا لَهُمُ الْغَالِبُونَ. So what do we learn from this story of this man? It connects to the story of Habib al-Najjar, how he held to what he is true to believe. And that's why Prophet Muhammad has trusted his Sahabas to send them down, with his message. And they pragmatize, what they believe. They displayed courage. They displayed courage of faith. They disclosed courage of iman, and so that we're not even going to submit to mediocrity, because you are promising us of something very temporary. They know that there's something bigger than that. So we want to know that while we are on this pathway, and whatever comes our way as a challenge, we want to know that Allah has promised us victory. Allah has promised us triumph. So we hold on to it and do not be unjust to any creation of human being, because you don't know their position in the front of Allah. You don't know how Allah honored them. And we want to know that whatever has come our way is by the mercy of Allah. I think we're going to stop here from today. And just a quick recap. Everything falls back to 2 things. And remember, even this story of Fubaid, and Zayd also was part of the entourage. Then the story also informed us that Allah does not love people who are unjust, because what became of these people who killed them unjustly was also a demoralizing situation. So this is for us to know, to be careful not to fall into the pit of those who are disbelief, because till the day of judgment, they're going to be people like that. So once you see them, Allah said, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا فَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. When people who are of ignorance, people who don't see from the light that you see from, because you are seeing Allahu Akbar. It's a clarity. Even this word today, you tell people that you want to go and pray, for example. They say, you have a problem of praying. Why? For what? They don't see what you are saying. They don't think the way you think. You're going to see people who challenge you. Qalu salama. Allah said, people who are of my mercy, when people like that challenge them, what do they say? Qalu salam, and they say, peace be upon you. We don't have any problem with you. Lakum dinukum waliya din. For you is whatever you believe, and what you for us is so it is no problem. We hold on to what you have. You hold on to what you have, and we both are going to get our reward. And this is for us, just to kind of encourage us to know that Allah has promised us that our ending, if we hold on to what we have, because Allah wouldn't go against His promise. He promised Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam victory on that day. Victory. Allah said, "Walal akhiratu khairun laka min al-ula." Allah's promised him Muhammad Mahmud. So if we maintain what we have, and we remember we said, our position, when we go down to Sajda, it's going to be the light to which Prophet Muhammad will recognize us. And on that day, once he call out, we're going to run to him, and he's going to intercede for us. We're going to stop here today, and we're going to start from the signs to which Allah starts speaking of tomorrow, from verse 33. Bismillah. Whatever we have said that is good is by the mercy of Allah. Whatever we have said that has exceeded or transgresses is by the whisper of faith, and Allah forgive you and us. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Alaikum assalam.
Pending any questions, I think I went off a few minutes today.
No, alhamdulillah. That's beautiful.
And then, okay then, inshallah, we take it from here tomorrow.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I got some pics to send to you.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.